Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Tani here. Hope everyone is doing great. It is July 2nd, 2020. Still down here in the Sunshine State of Florida. I hope everyone is continuing to stay safe. This corona thing really came to stir up a lot of things, man. It's crazy, it's crazy. Anyways, my message today, I kind of want to reach out to the young men out here today, because we are just, I've realized that some of us we're so lost. We're lost. A lot of young people are just, I don't know. I don't understand. But it's okay. I hope once you can listen to this and just gain some knowledge or some value, from just the simple thing that I say on here. And I hope I come to just give you some blessing. And where young men or anybody young or whatever, older people too, should get their guidance from is the human manual. And maybe this should be the topic of conversation, talk about the human manual. Everything on this planet or everything on earth that was made or created has a manual. And the Bible is simply a manual for human beings. All right? All right, so for the young men out there, when you go back to the beginning of the Bible, Genesis 1, you have the male that's been created first. The male was created first. Genesis 1, chapter 26, if I'm not mistaken, but or chapter 14. The male was made first, right? And God took him and put him in the presence of Eden. And I say the presence of Eden because it's not some place. It's been researched. It's not some place that you can find, ever nowadays. When they say Eden in the Bible, it's just the presence of God. And he put him in the garden to work first. You know what I'm saying? So for all the male out here that are lost, please refer back to your manual. And it says it in the beginning. That's the Old Testament. And that's just a little guidance. And you know what? The equivalent to Genesis 1 verse 26 is equivalent to Matthew 4 verse 14 as well. It's similar things if you go back and check your manual. But initially, the male are here to work first, and work came before you find a female. I believe it's in Genesis 26 or 27, they mention female. But in the beginning, he created men from the dirt and, and put you in the presence of Eden and place you there to work. When I say work, I don't mean doing something and going to work for people, in other words. You know what I'm saying? Work in the Bible just simply means to manifest yourself, become who you're supposed to be. Just as he makes the bird to fly, when the birds are flying, the birds are working, the fish is swimming, the fish are working. When you put the seed in the ground to grow, the seed is working, it's doing what it's supposed to do, bear the fruit, and it gravitates, like people come to it. In other words, not you out there giving things, you know what I mean? Like people gonna come to you once you become yourself. Manifest who you are. Please, this is so vital because it is not for you as a person. You're carrying a gift to fulfill a need on earth. And that's why it's so many of us, and it's continuing to be a lot of us, because a lot of us are coming on this earth, and we don't really realize that we're here to serve whatever it is that you're carrying to the world. You serve what you're carrying to maybe your generation, somebody in your generation that needs to hear it. You are not biological accident. You are not just a biological nuisance, or what, you're here for a reason. And it's just, refer back to your manual, guys. I can't say it enough. This is where you're going to find most of your answers with a lot of life problems, a lot of things that are happening now in the world. We don't realize that, it stems from lack of knowledge, darkness, in other words, and we act on what we don't know or what we don't understand. Instead of trying to find answers, we just kind of react, because we react with our flesh. The human is just, and we act of the world. And trust me, it's just how the world is going now. And I realize everyone is just going with the flow, like going with what's happening, instead of kind of using the mind that you've gotten by your true creator. You have to sit down sometime, man, and just think about what's going on around you. Think about how the world is becoming, and it's just people that are lost, people that are just not understanding what's happening now, and when you read the Bible, everything already happened. There's nothing new under the sun. All of these things that are happening right now is just, it was written. And we can change it as a being, as a species. We're getting caught up in all sorts of racism and craziness, police brutality. And, I really think the requirements of people with authority on this earth should go through some kind of personal, because I don't feel like they're getting vetted properly to be out here bringing around guns and try to dictate, in other words, over humans. When you're a human being yourself, this, like I said, I'm everywhere with this topic, but there's so much to talk about, and I probably should break it down in different segments. But when you have all of this on your chest. But anyways, my point is really to talk to the young folks that are kind of lost out here, man. Do not hate on each other. We all have 24 hours in a day, so it depends on what you use your time doing. That's what you're going to become as a person. So don't be mad at the next person when you see him doing something for himself, doing something for herself, because she spends most of her 24 hours doing something that is fulfilling whatever it is, wherever they're going or wherever they're at this point. So I need for you guys to understand that, and just keep positive out here. Don't go with the world, what's happening right now. Stop watching TV and educate yourself on something vital for your being. You know what I mean? Like I said, you're not here for nothing. We're not here just to work for people and be miserable going to the work and then die afterwards. Honestly, I can speak from it, because employment, I'm telling you, employment is probably one of the most dangerous things here on this earth, because when we're born, that's automatically what we come into. Your mother tell you, go to school to go get a job, not trying to figure out what it is that you're passionate about, or what it is that your gift is that you carry. You came with a package on this earth as a human being. Just like the seed is a tree on the inside of the seed, and when it manifests itself, the tree comes out and it does what it's supposed to do, which is bear a fruit or bear a flower. And as a human being, we are packaged, but we get so conditioned by our school system, and we get conditioned by just how the world is, and we just kind of lost what it is that we have. Like, we never lose it, you know. We never lose it. That's the thing is, it's not like God takes back what it is that you were brought on this earth with. He never takes it back. But because we're so conditioned, it can be conditioned out of us. We're conditioned to go to school, to just go get a job and work that job. We are so much more than that. And I'm beginning to realize that a lot of us don't realize that. A lot of us don't realize that, man. And it's just getting the study of creation, just some knowledge of just nature altogether. You will gain so much knowledge on a lot of these things. And I'm telling you, take some time out in the day, read your manual. If you have to read the book of Genesis, I know it's the Old Testament, or go to the book of Matthew. Read the book of Matthew first, try to understand it, Google certain things that you don't understand, and things will start to make sense. They have audio too. You can just have it in your ears listening to, instead of just wasting your time, spending your time listening to all these irrelevant things. Like I said, we all have 24 hours in a day, and it's whatever you do with your 24 hours a day, that's what you're going to become. And you could be enlightened by something so small, but don't listen to what people are going to tell you about yourself. And that's another thing too. We tend to listen to everybody that tells us about us. You know, it's not true. It's not true. You're a dignified spirit who just probably need to sit yourself aside and realize that the manufacturer who made you already packaged you with something within you. And, you know, if we're not going to go to God just to be a religious. It's not for a religious purpose. It's not for a Christianity purpose. You go to God to show you the desire that He put inside of you, for you to find whatever it is that your gift is. It's nothing about you going to heaven or just go to God. And I can prove that in certain scriptures. Just to show you that what I'm talking about is it's facts. In Corinthians 2, you find a verse in there that, you know, pretty much says, like, do not abandon me, Lord, and show me what it is that you desire for me. He's the one that created you. That's your manufacturer. And anything that you need to know or need to find out about yourself, just go to the manufacturer. Just like anything that you would need to find out about a phone or a TV or anything, you're going to go to an authorized dealer or, you know, the manufacturer itself. The authorized dealers that we have on here is the church, some of them. So once you can realize, you know, the truth is what we must know. The truth is what we must know about ourselves, man. And once you hear it, because like I said in the previous video that I did, I'll tell you, you're going to have a lot of false prophet, false information out here. But I know once you hear the truth, you must understand. You must understand as a human being. You know, we're all the same species. We're all the same species. We all have the same spirit. But we get lost and we choose to do whatever it is that we want to do with certain things that we have. But I'm telling you, each and every one of us came here packaged with something to fulfill or to make an impact in your area or of your generation. So don't think that you're just going to come here and died. If you die without manifesting who you are, you rob society, you rob the earth of something that you were brought here to present to the earth, or to society, or to your generation. You robbed us, you know, and that's why it's so important for you to know what you're here to do. Don't let society tell you what it is that you're supposed to be doing here. Don't let the world lead you in a direction where it's just to go to school, to do something in order to come back out to go work for somebody you really don't like or you hate to do, just because you need to survive in this world. If you're not fulfilling your destiny or fulfilling what it is that you're carrying to manifest in the world, you're never going to feel happy. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be whole with yourself, in other words, you know. So that's just my one thing I want to say to all humans out here, man. Like I said, young folks now that are coming up, it's important and it's vital for you to know. You'd probably be looking at some of the older folks to be telling you, but a lot of us don't really get it yet. So the only reason the only way you're gonna find something, I'm telling you guys, it's to read your human manual, the Bible. I was talking to a young guy out here the other day, and I was telling him about, you know, I started out by saying your human manual, and he's like, oh, there's such a thing as a human manual? Yes, it's called the Bible. And don't approach the Bible on a religious platform or a religious mindset or Christianity mindset. You don't approach it. The book is about a kingdom and a king, and the royal family, which is us. I've said this in so many of my videos, that are here to just pretty much dominate the earth. And God loves us so much. He just wants to, he's the king of heaven, and we're the king of the earth. So we're just here to dominate, have dominion on this earth, just as our king is dominating heaven, you know. And that's where we came from originally. So just try, young people, like go get a Bible and start reading it. I spare you not. And I'm gonna be elaborating a lot more on certain things in it that you must understand, and certain things that you probably must know before you approach the book. Okay? All right. I'm gonna cut this video right now short, but I'm gonna be sending out a lot more videos on reasoning and how to approach the Bible without thinking religiously or anything Christianity, in other words. But you have to understand the concept first before you go to it, because you're gonna go to it as a religious book. You know, it's all in the beginning of Matthew's too. You're gonna see that the people that Jesus was having the most problems with religious people were religious people. The Pharisees and the scribes, those were the tradition people, and you know, they didn't want to break their tradition because of this is what they believed in, and Jesus is here. Let go of tradition. Let go of traditional, that stronghold that you don't want to break. That is not what this is about. That is not what the Bible is about. You know, please read your manual. You're going to learn a lot. And when it mentions the Pharisees and the scribes, you realize that those are the religious people in the book, and that's not what it's about. And he was trying to break the stronghold of those guys, but would they listen? It was the hardest thing. And once you realize and you read that, you'll get knowledge. You'll get so much information that you need, guys. I'm telling you, it's important. Please go grab a book if you don't have one, a manual, a Bible, and start reading. All right? I love you guys so much, and I thank you very much for watching this video. Like I said, I'm going to be coming back with a lot more interesting information that you must know You must know, guys. This is vital. Thank you very much. God bless. Love you guys.